The bald eagle is still on the endangered species list. But Jonathan Towers reports projects like one in Oklahoma are helping ensure the big bird's survival.
These 2-week-old bald eagles are growing up at a private research center in Oklahoma, which is committed to a unique method of repopulating southern states with the national bird.
It's kind of a motherhood type thing, really. You feel like a parent to these eagles.
For the past 3 years, the surrogate parents have been taking eagle eggs from Florida, where abundant nesting grounds sustain 86% of the southern bald eagle population. Wildlife experts fear that if the Florida habitat were ever threatened, bald eagles might never be revived in the South. Taking the eggs from Florida has not decreased the population because the birds respond by producing a second group of eggs. The collected eggs are carefully transported to Oklahoma. Once here, chickens sit on the eagle eggs for a week because a dose of natural incubation is supposed to make the eggs hatch better. To prevent the eagles from getting used to human beings and becoming tame, they are fed with an eagle puppet. At 8 weeks, the eagles are ready to see the world. They're numbered, weighed, and lifted one by one into a 28-foot tower at a wildlife refuge. The eagles spend 3 weeks in the tower, getting used to their surroundings and exercising their wings. Then they're ready for their first taste of freedom. The eagles quickly earn their wings, but not without their share of crash landings.
They crash into trees and they crash on the ground and roll, and it's really humorous to watch them make the first couple of flights.
Last year, the center produced 28 eagles. 11 were released in Oklahoma, and the rest in Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. The center plans to raise 100 eagles this year. And because the birds return instinctively after 4 or 5 years to the place where they learn to fly, the hope is that over time, the eagle will once again reign over these and other skies. Jonathan Towers, CNN, Sequoia National Wildlife Refuge, Oklahoma.
That's our report. Thanks for joining us. I'm Stan Case. Around the world in 30 minutes. This is Headline News.
Every year, well over 500,000 small children are poisoned. Most of these poisonings could have been avoided. Children are curious and love to touch and taste new.
Morality.
Just how legitimate are those criminal charges that the U.S. is trying to sidestep the issue of spying on the Soviets? Anthony Collings went to the experts and to congressional leaders to find out.
Did U.S. agents use these microphones to bug Soviet missions in America, as Moscow claims? The spy equipment displayed in Moscow seems credible enough to some U.S. experts.
There are 3 or 4 wires coming out of the transmitter. And what that means to me is that probably the microphone is located in the target area and the transmitter is remotely located so that when we're checking for radio transmitters in the target area, we don't see that big, strong signal from the close-in transmitter.
The Soviets claim the U.S. used state-of-the-art spy equipment, but not everything they displayed seemed to back that up.
Well, that pen transmitter used discrete components on a circuit board, and that technology is very old. We can make things much, much smaller today.
An American architect who helped design the new Soviet embassy complex in Washington says U.S. agents tried in 1979 to bug the complex. The Russians discovered eavesdropping devices in apartment walls and protested. After this, they took buildings apart and x-rayed every inch of steel. 2 members of Congress who inspected Soviet spying on the U.S. embassy in Moscow concede that each side tries to bug the other.
I don't think anyone would think that that doesn't go on, but in this particular case, we're at a real loss.
The Soviets have really gone beyond the bounds. They have rendered our facility useless.
With Secretary of State Schultz due to go to Moscow next week, the Senate passed a resolution saying don't go until the embassy is made safe from Soviet spying.
Say nothing of the fact that it is somehow or another appallingly degrading to have the Secretary of State of the United States repair to a Winnebago in the back of the embassy.
There's no let-up in sight as the rhetoric continues over the spy war. On Friday, the Soviets are to hold another press conference This one in Washington at their new diplomatic complex, the same place where they say the U.S. tried to bug them. Anthony Collins, CNN, Washington.
President Reagan says even if bugs had been planted in the new Soviet embassy, the U.S. still has a right to be outraged over Soviet spying. Reporters asked the president if the Soviets' claim is true, that we bug them as much as they bug us.
If you want to believe him, go ahead.
Are they telling the truth? Has the U.S. tried to bug the Soviet embassy?
I never discussed anything having to do with espionage or counter-espionage.
Well, what do you think of all their claims that they made today and their so-called evidence that they presented?
I've been coming out here. I haven't paid any attention to it.
The nation's top Marine is promising to correct problems which apparently caused the sex for secrets scandal at the U.S. Embassy in Moscow. General P.X. Kelly says he'll take action to fix the situation regardless of the consequences. 4 Marine guards at the facility have been arrested on suspicion of espionage or improper contact with Soviets. There will be another name for presidential primary voters to consider next year, Democrat Paul Simon, senator from Illinois. Patricia Ox reports on this new liberal hat in the ring.
He is the senator rarely seen without his bow tie. He is an old-style Democrat from downstate Illinois. His name, Paul Simon.
Today, I authorize the formation of a presidential committee, and on May 18th, I will formally declare my candidacy for President of the United States.
Senator Simon originally threw his support behind Senator Dale Bumpers of Arkansas. But when Bumpers decided not to join the presidential race, Simon decided to run. He was encouraged in a letter signed by 15 representatives. The 58-year-old senator entered public life in the Illinois House of Representatives, where he met his wife, Jean, who was serving at the same time. He later became lieutenant governor, but ran unsuccessfully for governorship in 1972. After 5 terms in the House of Representatives, he defeated the powerful chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Charles Percy, 3 years ago. It was a narrow but significant victory. Senator Simon has authored 11 books on Abraham Lincoln, Congress, and on how to get America back to work. He is outspoken on higher education and immigration, and he sits on the Judiciary Committee as a non-lawyer.
I dream of a more productive America, where young people can buy their own homes, where family farms can prosper, and seniors live in dignity. An America that makes tomorrow better for all of our citizens and the world safe from nuclear threats.
Senator Simon hopes to build momentum during the Iowa caucus by having supporters show up in droves from his own neighboring state. But some political analysts say he will have to develop broader national appeal to be effective. Patricia Ox, CNN, Washington.
John Demjanjuk takes matters and his defense into his own hands today. The accused Nazi war criminal was given permission to cross-examine a documents expert on the grounds his lawyers were asking the wrong questions. The trial in Jerusalem is taking an emotional toll on his family. Mike Greenspan has their story.
Their twice-weekly visits to Ayalon Prison are emotionally charged experiences for Lydia, Irene, and John Jr., the children of John Demjanjuk. Their father, a retired auto worker from Cleveland, Ohio, is on trial for his life, charged with Nazi war crimes.
He's just part of me, and for him to be so far away, he's just here 24 hours a day.
2 John Demjanjuks, father and son. Their warm embrace was the trademark opening of each day's court session, until the 3-judge panel hearing the case ordered them separated.
When we have those close times, since they're so few now, they mean much more than just a simple hug. It's a coming together once again.
The Demjanjuk case centers on the defendant's wartime activities. During the proceedings, several survivors of the Treblinka death camp identified him as Ivan the Terrible, a sadistic Ukrainian gas chamber operator who mutilated many of his nearly 900,000 victims before their extermination.
I say unhesitatingly and without the slightest doubts. This is Ivan from the gas chambers, the man I am now looking at.
Demjanjuk's children remember him as a warm, affectionate father.
He's kind. He'd help anybody out. He can't hurt anybody. It's not in him. He'd kill himself before he'd ever have to do something like that.
He would hit the prisoners with his iron rod and enjoy seeing the cracked skull. This was just a few inches away from me.
The Demyanyuks have weathered more than a decade of accusations and legal battles. The children remain convinced their father is an innocent victim of mistaken identity and express an almost mystic belief that final justice will be done in the Holy Land. Mike Greenspan, CNN, Jerusalem.
Coming up, clear skies turn gray for 2 major airlines. Stay tuned.